Okay, folks, got a 959 refurb here. See that RB right there? Got my hands on a couple of them, and got some things I want to try doing, like getting rid of all of the static and stuff on the receiver. Also want to see if I can mount an SX175 on here. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to have to put the camera down. Actually, my cell phone down. My camera had a, wanted to use it, the battery was dead, so having to use my cell phone. All right, I'll be back. Okay, got the box out of the box. And that's my pad starting up. It's kind of hard to do this one hand. So, do it like that. Okay. Yeah, so you got the big RB on the back of it there. It's a sticker. So I'm going to leave that on there. But the radio looks brand new. So this is a factory refurb. It probably looks a lot better than some of the other refurbs that I've seen. Okay, get it out of the plastic and look it over real good. I'll be right back. Okay, there it is out of the plastic. Just like I thought. Looks like a brand new one. Oh, there's a couple of scratches right there on the end. Is that scratches or smudges? Oops, I think that might be just smudges. Yeah, that's just smudges. I don't think there is any scratches on it. And maybe a couple of little rubs right there, but they're not bad at all. I mean, radio looks really good. Okay. All right, I'm going to put some tape around the bezel. Take a little bit of Windex and see if that comes off before I put the tape on there. And test it, make sure it's working okay. I'll be back. Okay, got it hooked up to the dummy load. And let's see. Got noise. We're on AM. RF gains all the way up, mic gains all the way up, noise blankers on. RF power's up. Audio. Doesn't look too bad. Switch it over to the bird. Audio. Ain't looking bad at all. Put that on peak. And the meter on the right hand side will be reading peak power. Let's see, audio test. I got a 20-watt slug in there. Audio. 25 watt, sorry. Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Looks like it's reading about 7 average. And we'll swing a little past 20. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go to channel 40. And see what it does on 40. Audio test, test audio. Audio testing, testing audio. About the same. Channel 1 now. Audio test, test audio. Audio 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, audio test. Yeah. Doing really well. Okay. All right, I'm going to crack it open. We'll be back. All right, I forgot to show you the receive. SS9. And there's my settings on the on that thing. On the B and K. Let's see what they are on sideband. Sideband's showing an S9 also. Okay, so the meter is actually pretty close. Get that off. Audio 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 audio. Now I know sideband could be turned up a little more. Audio only doing about 10 watts peak on sideband, and only what audio about 7 on average. So I'll fix that. Get the power up like it ought to be. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I took some Windex and tried to clean that off, and Windex wouldn't get it, so I wound up using spraying a little contact cleaner on my cloth there, and the contact cleaner has a little bit of oil in it, some type of real light oil that goes in there with the cleaner, and I sprayed that on a cloth and wiped that off, and it just came right off with that. So that the bezel is nice and pretty. It's in really good condition. It wasn't scratches. It was just looked like someone had touched it with something that had a little bit of light grease on it. Now, I tell all of my customers when I sell radios, peel this plastic crap off of these covers. If you don't, and you leave it on there, it will turn hard. And then if you ever decide you want to take it off, damn near impossible to get all of it off. So my recommendation is take that crap off of there. Now, the covers are picking up fibers off of the cardboard here. So I'll wipe all that down. See, all that just wipes off. But I use this old packing box, this old post office priority mail packing box, to keep it off the bench. The cardboard like this is soft, so it won't hurt the radio. All right, I'm gonna finish taking it apart. I'll be back. Okay, here we are inside the unit. Can't tell if that's, yeah, it's a FET radio. The FET's in it. Doesn't look like there's enough heatsink compound on those things, so I'll loosen them up and put a little bit behind it. And there's several other things I want to do, like increase the size of that capacitor right there. That's puny. That looks like it's probably 1,000 microfarad. Yep. So is that one. So I'll be replacing a few caps with some that have more capacity. And oh boy, look at that thing. It didn't get seated in the board very well, did it? I'll fix that. Looks like they got it through on the bottom, but anyway, I don't like little things like that, so I'll take care of it. And everything else looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to get started on it. Probably going to put an L3S3B in here, 3-band. And like I said, I want to try putting an SX175 Magnum power cabinet on the bottom of this, if it'll fit. Plus a few other little things I want to try. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, folks. I'm still working on that 959. I've got the 5304 installed, just temporarily. I've done the mods to the receiver, AGC, and the noise blinker. All of the 1N60s have been replaced with Schottkys. I also modified the receiver to lower the noise floor. All I had to do was study the schematic and figure out what they were doing that caused the radio to have such high noise. And it's still going to be noisy. I didn't get rid of all of it, but it's going to be greatly improved. It won't be a 148, but it'll have a good strong receiver to be more like the older 2950s, RCI 2950s, which had a fairly quiet receiver but a good receiver. Okay, that's where I'm at right now. And I think I've already showed you the caps that I replaced. Hadn't got around to re-greasing the finals yet. And the plan is to add the second final to make it a dual final radio to drive the SX175 so we can get as much power out of it as the 175 produces. Okay, that's where I'm at. I'll be back. Okay, got the dual final set up in it now. And got the added heat sink on the back. What I did was take the tag off the back so I can mount the heat sink. I'll put that back on there somewhere. If you can see the mounting and the screws going through there. What I did was I took the ST FET 520 and put it there, and moved the other ones. The pre-driver, the driver, I moved it over to be one of the finals, so they're matched. So the two finals are matched. There's the driver. Got all the parts installed for the dual FET, and was going to replace the power transistor, but it's already got a B827 in it, so there's no point in replacing that. And this one, I was going to replace it. Hey, you can't hardly see, but it already has the A1869 in it. So it doesn't need to be replaced either. Get back over here where you can see that B827. I guess all the newer ones are coming with these updated transistors. Get a flashlight around here where we can see. There you go, B827. So it's one of the higher current transistors and doesn't need to be replaced. So I'm not going to replace it. And I've already told you about replacing all of the 1N60s that were in here, including the two that are for the AGC circuit, 3031, and these two guys over here, D1, D2. All right, we're moving right along. I'm getting about 40 watts out of it. A little bit, was it 40 or 45? I think it was 45 watts with a dual final setup. So that should drive our SX175 really well. Got a couple more little things I need to do up here. I got to put the sticker on the CPU and punch a hole for the second mounting bracket up here. But getting close. All right, I'll be back. Okay, this is a Magnum power cabinet. SX175, absolute max ratings. Max RF drive, 50 watts PEP, and I was getting about 45, so that's perfect. Maximum carrier setting, 38 watts. Okay, exceeding these maximums will shorten the life of the amplifier. Get it out of the packaging and I'll be back. Okay, this is what it looks like. Power leads and the power cord. I guess that takes the place of the power connector in the radio. Yep. It's got a little pigtail and a pretty heavy duty power cord. Guess the radio and the amp will run off of that. There's the amplifier. And here's it will be the top cover of the radio. It says Magnum on it, but it's a solid aluminum cover. It's not stamped steel. It's, I don't know if you can tell how thick it is, but high quality, very high quality. This is the bottom. It's also solid aluminum, but it has fins on the bottom. If you look at it from the end, it says Magnum. But you can see that's pretty thick right there. It will add a little weight to the radio. Input and output, and I guess that's probably the key line. I'm not sure what the other one's for, but I will read the instructions. And get started. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, here's another shot of the inside of the radio. Got the wiring all tied up here at the front. There's the dual final conversion. The big 4700 microfarad cap on the input line. The 3300 microfarad cap swap out there for the regulator. And I'm getting ready to start hooking up the SX175. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, got the new power cable installed, and you can see what I did there. I put one of those little terminals in the radio like they do in the 2970s, and wired everything to it. I haven't wired the amp up to it yet, but you can see that thing fits nicely in that hole. Mounts right in place of the old power connector. You can see, oh well, there's one of the insulators that was broken half that I replaced. But here's the end it has on it, and here's the power cable. Pretty hefty cable. I think it's 12 AWG, I think is what that says. Yeah. 12 AWG. It's 12 gauge. Okay, I got to tie wrap all this stuff back up. I cut it loose so that I wouldn't get up against any of it with a soldering iron, and you can still get to the speaker jack with a pair of long nose pliers down in there. And what I had to do was take another piece of wire and extend the ground wire because it wasn't long enough. It stopped about here, and it wouldn't reach any of these terminals. You can't put it there because that's chassis ground. So I moved it over here to the next one. I didn't want it right next to the positive. Probably wouldn't have mattered, but I moved it over here and put a new 6 amp protection diode in there. And not going to add a buffer cap because I think that it would have to stick out this way, and that might interfere with the amp. The amp's going to set right in here. Okay, all right, more to come. Okay, figured you guys might like to see what's inside the amp. Using a couple of 7530s in here to do the amplification. And I could have just cut the yellow and orange wire as they came out of the box there, but I thought I would go all the way back to the board here and cut them off. This radio is not going to need those. I guess it's for one of their Magnum radios. One of the early ones, I think, is what the instruction said. But we don't need them in the 959, so I'm going to cut them off right there at the board. All right, but like I said, I just thought you might like to see that. That's what they're doing. They're using two ERF 7530s. Okay, continuing on. Well, getting ready to install this thing. And it says right there on step 6, solder the coax center conductor from the SX175 assembly that is marked A to the center pin on the antenna connector. Well, neither one of these damn things are marked A. One's got black heat shrink, the other one's got red heat shrink. So, going to be trial and error. It said, this is the whole, let's see, what's the step 7B? Talking about, the center conductor of the remaining coax from the SX175 to the trace marked antenna on the main PC board. Okay, so that tells me that that coax is supposed to be the input. And the one marked A is supposed to be the output. But, as you can see, there's no markings on this damn coax. One has a red heat shrink, the other one has a black. So, best guess, trial and error. Magnum, you need to fix your instructions. All right, I'll be back. Okay, got her all hooked up and did some tests. I haven't put screws in it yet, but that's what it looks like underneath the bottom. But I am duly impressed Okay, right now I'm on AM. The meter on the left has a 100-watt slug in it. It's average power. The meter on the right has a 50-watt slug in it. And I've got it on the ×5 scale. So that top scale up there is the one we'll be reading on. It goes up to 250 watts. And I'm going to inject a two-tone into it. You can see that's right at 200 watts on the AM. Switch to lower side band, do that again. Lower side band's about 150 watts peak. And back to, oh, wait a second. I didn't have the RF power turned all the way up. Crap. Let's do that again. All right, here's AM. Well, dead key, a little over 40 watts. Almost 225 watts peak. Now I'm going to switch to sideband. We're going to try that again. Still about 150 watts peak power. Now, with my voice, I can actually make it go a little further, I think. Audio. That's using a stock microphone. Like I said, the meter on the left is average power and 100-watt slug. The meter on the right has a 50-watt slug, and I've got it on ×5. Okay, so both of these are the radio is running into a dummy load, a K antenna. But like I said, I'm duly impressed with this. It impressed me, and that's kind of hard to do. Okay, I'm going to. I got a decal ordered for the front of it, but I'm not sure when it'll be here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on eBay and my website. And when I get the decal in, we'll put the decal on and see how it looks. Gotta let it warm up. These Galaxies are not the best for staying on frequency, but I put another crystal in there, one of the Lescom crystals. This is a low band radio. It goes from 26065 to 27975. That light in the meter is actually white, not blue like it looks like in the camera. The readout, the frequency counter, and the channel selector readout are blue. And the scan up, scan down switch is now here on the noise blanker A&L switch. Scan down is to the left. Close the squelch. Scan up is to the right. Okay. All right. I'll be back. Okay. I'm going to show you the meter. There's S9 on AM, S9 on sideband. Okay. Switch that off. And go back to the external antenna. Now the radio's still a little bit noisy, just a little bit, but the noise floor is not nearly what it was. Yeah, we do have some thunderstorms moving in. This radio turned out great. Thought about keeping it myself, but I think about keeping all the ones I build myself, and I just can't do that. But I'm going to be putting the top cover on it. Just remember that the covers are solid aluminum. It'll come with a stock microphone, bracket, all that stuff, but of course it won't fit back in the box with the new heatsink on the back and the power cabinet mounted on it. And don't worry about this side over here that doesn't have a microphone, because they sent plugs to go in those holes. So I'll be putting a plug in there to close that one up. Okay, I'm going to put it all together, and I'll make a last video. Well, it won't be the last one. I'll make another video when I get the decal. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I got the covers just sitting on there, because I'm going to have to take them off when the decal gets here and put the decal on. But you might like to see it. Like I said, they are solid aluminum. So, you know, lots of cooling for the amp. And as you saw, it's doing about 225 peak power. So it's a hell of a setup. I'm impressed. And the receive is working great. And you notice you don't hear all that frying like you used to. You get to a channel that ain't got a bunch of background chatter. Right there. You can still hear it, but it ain't like it used to be. See, look, my Ranger. Haven't done the mod to it yet. Okay, there's the Ranger on the same frequency. Hear all that frying? Well, that's basically been eliminated on this one. You hear it, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. Hearing some thunder crashes in the background. Isn't that nice? I wouldn't mind listening to that all day. But this, that frying noise will drive you crazy. Here it is on this one. Now, of course, with this setup, there's no internal speaker. You're going to have to use an external speaker. And I think I've got one here, and I'll probably add that for like $10 or something. But well, I love that. That's volume. That volume's way up like that. get it back on something where we can. So see, we got the plenty of volume. Now, see how quiet that is? And let's go back to 38. Isn't that nice? I'm glad I studied that circuit. I'm going to start doing that to all of them. Okay. When the decal gets here, I'll be back. Okay. Got the monitor radio set up on 27385. Got this one set up on 27385, lower sideband. Wanted you to hear how the radio sounds. Got the amp on there. Audio 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Audio test. That was on sideband. Now I'm going to switch to AM. Audio testing. Testing 1 2 3 3 2 1. Audio test. Audio. We're on the 250 watt scale on this meter right here. This is peak power. Audio. Almost 250 watts. Okay, now let's go to upper sideband. I don't know if I got it clarified or not. Audio. Hello. 1 2 3 3 2 1. Not exactly. Audio. Hello. 1 2 3 3 2 1. Audio. This little rascal hums. Okay. Back on lower sideband. It sounds really good. Audio. Hello. 1 2 3 3 2 1. Audio test. Test audio. 1 2 3. And that's with a stock hand mic, not an amplified hand mic. It's got plenty of mic gain. I did a little mod to the mic circuit. I did not cut anything. Limiter is still enabled, but you can control it. It will go past 100%. You turn the mic gain all the way up. It'll do about 150%. And that drives the radio really well. And the way I've got things set up, man, you should never blow out any finals. Just make sure your SWR is good. The SWR meter does work inside this radio. Let's see. Switch to SWR. See there? That's reading the SWR going into the amp. Okay? That's mounted on the bottom. So that probably won't change unless you got a problem with the amplifier. So you're going to need an external SWR meter to measure the standing waves between the output of the radio, which is the output of the amp, going to your antenna. So just remember that. Okay? All right. I haven't put the knobs back on it yet. All of them. I put the channel selector knob because I was playing with testing the sound and stuff. But when the decal gets here, then I'll put the face back on there. I mean the knobs back on there. Okay. All right. That's it for now. I'll be back.